Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, a little solo podcast action. I've not actually done this ever, so we'll see how this goes. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. Three, two, one, and we are live. Welcome back to another episode of Back in the Loop. I'm your host, Brian Major, and today we actually don't have any guests. It's a solo podcast for today, and I'm really excited about doing a solo podcast episode. I really wanted to kind of get out my comfort zone a little bit, talk to you guys on talk to you guys one on one in this podcast episode. But I wrote down a little bit of notes, some things I want to talk about. And essentially, this episode is a way for me to get out my verbal vomit. Like, honestly, so I'm super excited. And honestly, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about this, kind of the journey of this podcast. I've been loving it so far. I mean, we're only the fourth episode in, obviously, but it's been really fun to just kind of get my thoughts down, be able to talk about things that are just on my mind, and being able to give advice for whoever's watching out there, whoever's viewing my content. But it's been fun making this content. I've always wanted to do a video podcast, and it's just always been like, oh yeah, I want to do a video podcast. I love podcasting. I love watching podcasts. And I was like, you know what? Why can't I do the podcast? I've always thought to myself, I'm like, why don't I just make a podcast? Like, why don't you just do it? Honestly, I feel there's a lot of things in life where you should just go after it and chase it. Why don't you just do it? Just do it at the end of the day. Make a podcast, run that business, or, create something that you've always just wanted to create. Don't let anything hold you back in this lifetime. Trust me, you don't want to have any regrets, and I don't have any regrets. So I'm definitely excited, and just excited for the journey that will come, and I'm gonna be so consistent and just posting every Sunday, posting TikTok clips, posting Instagram reels, a little bit on Snapchat. I'm not too big on Snapchat, but I like to just post on those Instagram reels and TikToks. I think those are my main focus, and obviously YouTube, and then posting it on other audio platforms. So anywho, that was just my little tangent. Yeah, so I actually wrote a couple of notes down on my phone that I just wanted to kind of hit on. So I've kind of learned this through, I don't know, making relationships and interacting with people, but there are three types of friendships. So the first type of friendship is the caller/texter. And these are the people that always enjoy reaching out. No matter what, they'll reach out, they'll send random texts, they'll send like things asking you how you been, or maybe they want to see you soon, or they miss you. And those are the people that are just like, they love reaching out, they love talking to their friends, no matter how long the conversation is or how little they get out of their friends as well. So that is the first one, the caller/texter. I prefer calling, but not everyone has the time to call. Honestly, I text a lot. I do a lot of texting with my friends just to check up on them and see how they're doing. But that's the first one. So the second one is the receiver. So this is kind of the other side of the spectrum, I would say, of friendships. The receiver is really the person that receives all the texts and receives all the calls from just a multitude of people, and they're really the person that you feel so comfortable with. They're kind of the person where you just feel like you can tell them anything, you can trust them. They're very trustworthy too. And I feel oftentimes, I don't know, I've witnessed this as someone that is being a receiver, kind of sometimes they take for granted how many calls and texts they get just because they get it all the time. And I don't know, I'm just speaking off of my opinion. I'm not saying these are total like set in stone things that people do, but this is just something I've seen done, pretty often. And then the third type that I kind of distinguish is the middleman/the grouper. And these people really are the friends that love coming to events. They're always in group settings, and a lot of the time they hang out in groups. So they do this they just love to be around people, and I love those people too. I would say if I were to pick one, or actually I don't know if I can pick one, but if I were to pick two, I love hanging out in group settings. It's just super fun to get a group of people together. I love those intimate settings. And then I would say I'm a caller/texter. I enjoy reaching out to my friends. For me, it's very therapeutic to be able to keep that open communication and talking to my friends and seeing how they're doing, seeing what their life is about. If I haven't seen them in a while, just seeing like how they're, I don't know, just seeing like how they're doing. I think reaching out for me is, it's honestly like a win-win, because reaching out for me is like saying that, you know, if I did all I could for this friendship and I'm reaching out and I'm still leaving that open communication where they can reach out to me whenever they feel like it and they feel that comfortable to reach out, is great. So those are just the kind of three types of friendships that I kind of categorized. Hopefully I'll get more kind of categorizations as I keep going and, going through this like kind of journey and, learning more about my friendship relationships. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully, I'll get to the bottom. I'll get to the bottom of this kind of journey that I've been going on and this process that I've been going through. I don't know why I keep saying process. I always I say process, but it sounds like a scientific thing going on. It feels like I'm like, oh yes, this process that I'm going through, but I don't know. I just say process because it's just easier. It's just easier that way. But yeah. So on to the next topic that I'll be talking about. Honestly, so recently I actually went on a date. I met this girl off a dating app, and we chatted a little bit before, kind of planned out a date, and I had a really great time. That's the thing. That's really the kicker out of this. I had a really good time, and it was honestly very nerve-wracking because I haven't gone on a date where I haven't known someone in, oh my gosh, I'd say about 2 years or so. And it was very nerve-wracking, but not a nerve-wracking bad way. It was a nerve-wracking, very positive way. Like a nerve-wracking, like, oh my gosh, like what does she sound like? Like, what does she like to do? Will she laugh at any of my jokes? Will we laugh together? Like, seeing her eyes light up, or I don't know, just being on the same like vibe wavelength. So I think it was really cool. And I honestly like riding to the date. We actually ate at a restaurant, but riding to the date, I'm over here like, oh my gosh, like what if she doesn't like me? What if she thinks I said something, and what if something came off very wrong about what I said? And just like, oh my gosh, what if she likes the food? What if she doesn't like the food? Just a lot of things like that. I was like, I'm such a like overthinker when it comes to that stuff, and also planning things. I think planning things, I can think of so many ideas, but sometimes I can't formulate the ideas into like itinerary plan. I'm usually so go with the flow most of the time, and when I have to plan something, it's often kind of like I'm jumping through hoops to try and figure out what kind of things that I should be doing, and what things that we should be doing, and what things that I can keep on going to make the experience as, fun as possible. But I gotta like always level with myself to be like, I gotta really level with myself to be like, it's gonna be fun regardless on like whatever we do, as long as we're together and we're, enjoying each other's time, the date's gonna be fine. Like nothing's gonna go perfect. But yeah, no, it was a great time. Honestly, if I have to give like some tips on going on a first date, because it's been a long time for me, and it's been, great overall experience. And I loved her personality. I loved the way it went. It was very like at first we were like, oh, we were very timid, but it went into like this wave of just like, oh my gosh, like you do this, I do this. Like, it's so fun that like, it's so great that you're spontaneous. It's so great that you just like to have fun at the end of the day. And so I really enjoyed that. But here, let me get on some tips on, if you are newly dating or going on a first date. So, my first tip is to really, really keep an open mind and not write the person off rip. And it's kind of a weird concept of what I'm saying, but I would say just keep an open mind at the end of the day. When you're going on these dates and you're meeting these people, sometimes you kind of get in your head a lot, and some people get really nervous, and some people don't know what to say sometimes, and some people say the wrong thing sometimes. So just always keep an open mind when it comes to dating, and be able to really listen to the person and figure out what they're like, and pick their brain a little bit, and also um, if it goes well, planning more dates and just being proactive about that too. You really, if you really want to hang out with that person, spend time with that person, go ahead and spend time with them. I don't know, like I think if you have a good time at the end of the date, go ahead and tell them that you had a good time at the end of the date. Don't wait for that. I feel like waiting is such it's such like a give and take game when we're when we're in this romantic relationships. Where it's like, oh, did she text me, or oh, maybe I shouldn't text her immediately, or just like just say what you're gonna say. Just say what you're gonna say, and the other person's probably thinking the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, like should I text them? Should I not? And if you make that first move, it's kind of always good to just like state how you feel. But yeah, so first one, keep open mind. Second one, I would say, is just be completely transparent, be completely honest, because at the end of the day, it's always nice to tell people that you're going on these dates with what you want and what you were looking for. Um, Oftentimes, like, this is such an exploration of like learning who you are, learning what you like. So being honest with somebody on the first date and on dates and just in general is really the way to go. Don't keep people guessing. I know I hate that. I know I hate when I'm guessing and I'm like, you know, I had a good time, but did you have a good time? I don't really know. And is she looking for a relationship, or is she just dating around? But at the end of the day, also take your time and don't rush anything. But honestly, yeah, just keep it honest. And if you don't, and if you have this first date and you don't enjoy, well, not enjoy, if you had a good time, but you don't really see yourself in a relationship with that person or getting in a future relationship with that person, give them a text, or call, or however you feel comfortable about it. Just be honest and tell them to be like, hey, I didn't really, I thought I had a great time with you. Let's keep it like that. I had a great time with you, but I don't really see us being romantically compatible in my eyes. And I feel saying that, I know it's like the weirdest process to say that, because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but you want to be straightforward and you don't want to leave anything like to interpretation, because somebody can get the wrong idea, and then you're over here, trying to like I said, like jump through hoops and get through like this thing about like how you're trying to navigate talking to this person. But yeah, just be honest. I know it's a little weird when you're trying to say that stuff, but honestly, you're kind of doing a service for that person, and so they can they can move on, go to the next person, or stick around if you like them that much. So yeah, second one, just be honest, be transparent. So the third one I would say is so if the date doesn't go well on either sides, don't give up. Don't give up on trying to keep on dating and having these experiences. Because at the end of the day, if you had a good experience or you didn't have a good experience, you learn from it, and you also know like what you want out of a person. I know you could really create these expectations that you want out of a relationship and out of a person that you're going to date in the future. There's a lot of things that you should really figure out, because you don't want to play with someone, or you don't want to just keep dating somebody and they don't have that kind of criteria that you're looking for. I've seen that happen multiple times, and just like honestly, like my relationships that I learned from, and also other people's relationships or my friends' relationships, just looking at like, what you have, I see that you have that criteria, but that person doesn't really match up. I know you like hanging out with them, but at the end of the day, you're probably not going to have a long, healthy relationship with them if you already have this set criteria, and that you have that set criteria, but you're just dragging on a relationship. So definitely don't give up. And me personally, I believe in unconditional love. I believe if someone loves you unconditionally, they will, they'll do things for you just out of the kindness of their heart. And I believe everyone should have that unconditional unconditional love in their life. I think it's super important, and I definitely believe in that. I make a bunch of jokes, like sometimes I'm a little cynical. I make a bunch of jokes like, oh my gosh, love is not real, don't believe in love is this, da 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 da. But no, they're all jokes. I definitely believe in that type of unconditional love and that romantic love, and I've been kind of going through this process of trying to I wouldn't say figure it out. I know what romantic love is, but figure out what's like the perfect balance for me in my life. But yeah, so those are kind of like my three tips on when you go into dating. Honestly, I I really had this kind of reflection point. I'm 21 right now, but I had this reflection point on when I was younger. I had this like delusional thing of I'd watch all these Disney movies, and I think I'm blaming Disney. I'm blaming Disney for this, but I'd watch all these Disney movies, and they would have so many relationships, and I thought as I was younger, I was like, no, I have to have a relationship in high school, or I have to have a relationship in middle school, and that was just not the way to go. If I was to give any advice to the younger men and younger guys, is that while you're in high school and middle school, really focus on creating those tight knit friendships, and don't really focus on the romantic side. I really don't think high school relationships or middle school relationships are even real relationships, because if you got to wake up and you got to tell, and your mom's going to tell you that you need to wake up for school, or she's got to drive you everywhere, and she's going to drive you and your date everywhere. I really don't think that's I believe in hanging out one on one with a girl or a guy. I mean, you could have like some romance in that, but I don't believe that's a fully romantic relationship. And because when you do get in these relationships, you have so much responsibility, and you guys are also still young, so you're also learning how emotionally vulnerable you are. So definitely focus on being just being a good friend at the end of the day, because trust me, that goes a long way. And you also focus on the more important things rather than, oh my gosh, I really like this girl, I think she's really pretty. I'm not saying don't have any crushes, because you can have plenty of crushes, but don't focus on that romantic aspect and your younger years, or if you're in high school watching this, or sometimes even in college, early years in college. At the end, I think you should, maybe if you're looking for a relationship or you're mature enough, if you're mature enough, then yes, go for a relationship with that person that you think is also on the same maturity level. But I don't know, that's just my 2 cents, my advice, because it's just my reflection point. um Give or take take it with a grain of salt or not, but I think that's a great way to think about it. But just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. So now let's get on to the next segment. Recently, recently I've been thinking about things that are just not really like, I guess, like sexually attractive, but things that are just kind of attractive that I've noticed that I think is really attractive. One thing I wrote in my notes, I wrote that one thing that I thought is attractive is when a girl walks past you and her perfume, kind of, you get that breeze of perfume. I think that's super attractive. Scent for me is like, it's so important. I don't know, I like vanilla scents on a girl, but I also like flowery scents. So it's like a weird, like, I'm like a weird in the middle. Cuz I wear a lot of vanilla scents, or like I don't know. I wear a lot of vanilla or like kind of cocoa butter scents, and I truly enjoy that, and I can smell that forever. But that's one thing that is a turn on. Another thing is a turn on for me is when a girl when she grabs your arm, or when she hooks your arm. If she grabs your arm, like, how do I say this? If she grabs your arm like this while you guys are walking, or if you guys, or she like hooks arms. I think that's like it's such a little aspect, but I think that's really attractive in a person, and a person that I want to date and who I want to get to know. I don't know, like the hooking arms thing is kind of like when you get to know them more often, like more so, but I think that's really attractive in my opinion. Another thing is, well, I had one more. Another thing is, yeah, no, this is really just attractive for anybody, and I think is a really good thing to experience and see, is I love when somebody's talking about a topic or talking about something they truly enjoy, and their eyes just like light up. That's the best feeling in the world, to see someone's eyes light up. I don't know what it is for me, but when someone's super passionate and they know like every detail about what they're talking about. I think that's so attractive, and that's like just such a good way to I don't know, good way to express yourself as well. When you're so well diverse and you know so much about this topic, I love it when people like take time out to tell me about like, oh, I have this idea, or oh, I've been doing this, or I've been working on a business, or I truly enjoy doing this. Those are such great ways to I don't know, think about life and explain life as well. So yeah, that's like that kind of the third thing or fourth thing I think is attractive. Another thing is like I love, like, hygiene is so important for me, and it should be important for everybody. Hygiene should be important for everyone. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it now. No sugarcoating that. Hygiene, very important. But I love when a girl takes care of her hair. Like when you see, it doesn't matter what hair type you have, but when you see a girl and her hair is just shiny, and you're like, dang, her hair looks good no matter the day, no matter the weather. I love when a girl can take care of her hair. Also, like take care of herself in general. I love that. That's it's so attractive. Honestly, that's all I can say. It's so attractive to just um get that. Um, but yeah, I think this is kind of like the end of the podcast. I might have I don't know if I have one more topic to talk about. I kind of just had those main three, so I think we're probably at 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I don't want to make these episodes too long. Or actually, tell me what you guys think about longer podcast episodes. I really would like to know. Can you guys comment down below in either Spotify or YouTube or TikTok or Instagram? Please comment down below. What do you guys like? How long of a podcast do you guys like? Do you like an hour, or do you like 30 minutes? Do you like 40 minutes? I really would like to know the feedback on that. Typically, I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I like an hour podcast, 40 minutes. 40 minutes to an hour is always like my good grace period of just like how long I want to make something, or how long I want to talk for, honestly. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this solo podcast. It's just me. Hopefully next week I will have a guest. I probably will have a guest next week. But if you guys did enjoy, if you're watching from Spotify, or you're watching from any audio platform, please rate me 5 stars. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I hope you guys did enjoy this like kind of quick little podcast video, maybe 30 minutes. If you guys did, please drop a like down below. That'd be very much appreciated. Like I said, my name is Bryan Major. This is another episode of Back in the Loop, and hopefully you guys will stay back in the loop. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.